Needs to ban me from making YouTube videos for my friends, but it's fine. Today we're going to learn about the unit circle. The premise of a unit circle is that this is 1 unit big. So the unit circle is actually 2 units big, but it basically goes out to 1 on every side. The second thing you need to know about unit circles for them to make any sense is that your xy coordinate equals cosine and sine. Very, very important to note that this is how it is. So at point 0, if I was to make a triangle somehow where this is 0, where my hypotenuse is literally just flat, my cosine would be 1 and my sine would be 0. So on a question like what you have, give me 1 second and I'll write it out. Sorry about that. So the question that you have is what angles get you sine equals 0? So when I look at these coordinates, I say sine, I see cosine, sine, cosine, sine. Sine is 0 when it's 0 degrees, and also 360 degrees, because when you go all the way around the circle, you go back to 360. It's also 0 at 180 degrees, because it's still on the y-axis. Sorry, x-axis. It is on the x-axis, so it's 0. Moving up the circle, now I need to get another color. I'm gonna go with a fun red. Can I open it with one hand? I'm really trying. Oh my god, I'm almost there. I can feel it. We did it, gamers. Anyway, so say at 30 degrees, and this is something you kind of just memorize, but basically I go up and it ends up being the square root of 1 over 2 is the length that it goes up, and then it goes out such a length, and that ends up being the square root of 3 over 2. And then when I go to 45 degrees, it ends up being the square root of 2 over 2. And this isn't very square, but it should be a square. You also get the square root of 2 over 2. And then at 60 degrees, we go out a very small area, but we go up a very large area, so it's the square root of 3 over 2, comma, square root of 1 over 2. And the square root of 1 over 2, I'll go back down here, translates to 1/2 because the square root of 1 equals 1. So that's the very easy way to figure out what sine and cosine are at different places. And then to get tangent, I'm going to get another, we're going to erase this right here, and we're going to write tangent equals sine over cosine. So if we have 90 degrees, this point up here, sine equals 1. My recording got interrupted. So anyway, if you go to 90 degrees, tan is sine over cosine. So that would be 1 over 0, sine over cosine. And that would end up being undefined. And then if we say we go to this point, we would get 0 over 1, and that equals 0. And that's kind of how it works. You can do it with every other point, and then when you have things like secant, cosecant, it would just be, well, like secant, we'll say secant of 1/2, so that would be 1/2 to the negative 1, and you end up getting 2. And so on and so forth. I hope that kind of makes sense. I'll just write over here, cotan equals tan to the negative 1. Cosecant equals sine to the negative 1, and secant equals cosine to the negative 1. A lot of this you just have to memorize. Cool Math makes it really easy if you go on coolmath.com, which I might link in the description, probably not because I'm too lazy, where they write this out a little bit more clearly. And then if I'm translating this to any other part of the unit circle, so on this side, if I want to go here, I would just know that this part's negative, so it would be negative root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. I hope that kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. I'm going to stop talking now because I keep getting interrupted by random noises. And here's a whole screenshot if you want to try to make sense of this. And bye!